What's up everybody, my name's Bryce Adams with 15 Films. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you didn't already, and let's jump right into this tutorial. Today, you're going to learn 5 things you can do to make your films more cinematic. Let's jump right in.
Okay everybody, we have the GH4 here, and step number 1 to make your films more cinematic is you change right here your frame rate to 24 frames a second. So 23.98 is 24 frames a second. And this is at 4K, but you don't have to be shooting at 4K. You can do this in 1080p and it's still going to give you the most cinematic look you can get. Okay, so for the people that are shooting higher frame rates to achieve slow motion, if you're shooting at 96 frames per second, you're going to have to slow it down to 25% to achieve that 24 frames per second look, which is what you need to do to get cinematic look. So, as you go down, let's move her down to 60 frames per second because that's what people shoot in a lot. You're going to have to bring that 60 frames per second clip down to 40% to achieve that 24 frames per second, and so on. Another thing I want to mention is not every single camera can shoot slow motion. Also, if you don't have slow motion, just change it to 24 frames per second, and that's going to be your best bet for getting a cinematic look.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is stabilizers. You need to stabilize your footage. So, let's jump right over here. Okay, so moving on to stabilizers, you need to have stable footage to achieve cinematic look. Well, you don't. Some movies do have a lot of shake in certain scenes. It's fitting, but for a real smooth cinematic shot, you're gonna need a stabilizer. So this is just a basic stabilizer. It holds the GH4. It does not hold the GH5. It is too big. I need to upgrade because of that. For now, I'm stuck using the glide cam. It's another tool you can use to get good, solid, stabilized footage is the glide cam. And don't get me wrong, people, there's many stabilizers. These are just a couple of them. This is the King TV single gimbal. This is the Glide Cam 2000 Pro. That being said though, there's sliders, there's dollies, there's a lot of other things you can use. Like this GH5 has in-body stabilization, which is just amazing. So the handheld shots you can get on that, dueled with the dual stabilization on the lens, is just insane. So you don't always need the expensive toys to get shots, and once before I had nothing. I had a camera, an old Sony camera that didn't even shoot 24 frames a second, and I've just slowly built my way up over the past couple of years, and this is where you can get. So let's jump right into the next tip. Tip number 3, slow motion. Slow motion is huge. I use slow motion all the time. You can use slow motion to get the most cinematic shots if you don't need that real-time speed. That being said, when you kick it into slow motion, you can go handheld on a lot of shots because that slow motion takes that jitter away, which makes for a more cinematic shot. Just always remember when you're down sampling in post to go to the right percentage to achieve that 24 frames a second look, because you're always going to be shooting in a higher frame rate. Tip number 4, camera movement. It's so important. But the right camera movement for the right things is also very important. So any camera movement is better than just a tripod shot. You could do a whole friggin' shoot on a tripod and it's never going to look the same as if you have a gimbal, glide cam, and you're doing the same shots. Swaying side to side, pan, tilt up, revealing shots, using the foreground to expose or bring out a scene. That's what makes shots more cinematic. So really focus on your camera movement and using the right camera movement for the right thing. Tip number 5, my favorite tip of all, is just go do it. Practice being more cinematic, practice your shots, practice your sequences. Practice makes perfect, and that is how you learn in filmmaking. So guys, go practice, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.